This short tutorial is going to cover the process of making a thermographic printing effect in 3D Studio Max. Here I have done a Google search just for thermographic printing, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. So it's basically text that looks raised off the paper, and it's achieved using a special type of powder that's applied to where the ink is printed, and then a heat is applied to that to melt it. So it gives the lettering a kind of raised plasticky feel to it, and it's used a lot in business cards and that, and it's quite effective. So I recently did this for a client on their business cards. So let me just switch to that. Where is it? Yeah. So this is the business card, so you can see the logo is actually in this raised kind of plastic effect, and the rest of the card is a nice matte satin finish. Got a very nice sort of satin touch. So the client was so happy with this look that they said to me, can we not create a similar effect digitally so that it can be used for things like Facebook profiles and other type of branding. So I experimented a little bit with Illustrator. So this is the original logo open in Illustrator. I experimented a bit and I couldn't quite achieve the right effect. So I thought, well, probably the best thing is to try and do it in Max. So what I did is I took this logo, which is all just paths, there's no live text here or anything, and I saved it out. So I'll just put this on my desktop and I'll save it out as an Illustrator 8 document. And the reason why you have to do that is because Illustrator 8 kind of breaks down whatever you've done into its most basic paths and shapes, and that will work best when importing into Max. Okay, so I'm now in Max and I have a new project open. So the first thing I need to do is change my units. So I'm going to go to Unit Setup and make sure I'm in millimeters, which I am. And then I'm going to go to Import. I'm going to go and find that Illustrator file. And here I'm just going to say Merge Objects with Current Scene, and then Single Object. Okay, so if I now switch to my perspective view and I zoom in, I can see that there is my logo. Now, one of the things it's done, which I didn't really anticipate, is it's brought in my guides as well, which I didn't want. So I'm going to actually go into Editable Spline and to Spline, and I'm just going to select these and delete them. Okay, so now I have my logo. So what I want to do first is to separate it out into the parts that I want to work with. I can't treat it all as one object because I might get some anomalies. So I'm going to select all the letters, and I'm going to go down in my roll up here down to it's always difficult to find. I'm looking for detach. There it is there, detach, and I'll just call this text. Okay, and then I'm going to select the outside two splines and I'm going to detach those, and I'll call this outside. That leaves me with the remaining object, which I will call inside. Okay, so the first thing I want to do with the inside shape is to apply an extrude modifier to it. So there it is, and the amount looks a little bit too much here, so it's on 2 millimeters. Let's take it down to 1. Okay, and then obviously this is quite a blocky look. It doesn't really look like thermographic printing yet. So I'm going to add another modifier called the Edit Poly modifier. And then I'm going to go into polygon mode and select this top polygon. And I'm then going to go down to the inset value, and I'm going to experiment with that. So let's just take it tiny bit in. Okay, that's about right. So I'm just eyeballing this, and then what I'm going to do is move that up a fraction. Okay, so it's just kind of created that slightly rounded look. I'm also going to rotate down to the bottom, select the bottom polygon and delete it. So we've just got that rounded top part. So from here I'm going to select all my polygons in that shape, and I'm going to go down to my smoothing groups, and I'm just going to put auto smooth on. So what that should do is it should give it a nice kind of rounded look. It's still a bit hard, so I'm going to go back here and let's just adjust this value. Let me just see. Okay, I'm just going to choose, that's better. I just chose this number 5 slot here, and that looks nice and rounded now. Okay, also just need to check for any anomalies in the actual shape. Sometimes you get weird things that happen, but it all looks fine. So now I'm going to switch to the second shape and basically repeat that. So an extrude modifier of 1 millimeter, and then an edit poly modifier, and go to the polygon setting, and then to inset, it will be here, and I need to just check this out. I don't know if I'll be able to go for the same value again. Yeah, that looks fine. And then I'm just going to switch to another view just to make sure that I'm lifting it up the same amount as the inside shape. Okay, so that's that one, and then I'll grow my selection so that everything is selected, and go down and also choose a different slot. I also need to select the bottom, whoops, and delete that. Okay, so I can see here I've got an anomaly here. Something weird has happened here, so I'm going to have to go into vertex mode, and let me try top view, and let's just try and fix this. So I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. Right, and let me just go into this view so that I can see what's going on. Okay, and okay, so I think I'm going to switch to top view again and then switch to wireframe. Okay, so I just need to bring these in line. I think that's going to fix it. Let's just see. Okay. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay, and then we need to do the text. So I'm going to, it looks like something weird's happened here. I think that this kind of got attached to the inside shape there. So I'm just going to go in and select this and delete it. Oh, okay, that wasn't such a good idea. Let me just undo that. And I think I need to go down the stack down to the original level here, and I need to go back to spline, and I need to select just that spline and detach it. Okay, and I'll have to reattach it to the other letters. Okay, so now hopefully when I go back up the stack it hasn't messed things up for me. Okay, no it hasn't. Alright, so now I need to take the text. Okay, and I need to attach that piece that got lost. So I'm going to go to attach and just click on that piece. So that's now part of the text. Then same story again, extrude modifier, and then edit poly modifier. In polygon mode, select all these top polys. Oops, missed one there. Okay, and then go to inset, and let's just have a look at what we can achieve here. Okay, I'll go with the same value as before, which was about 0.5, and then switch to front view, and let's just move those up to match the other ones. Okay, I need to delete the polys from underneath. Oops. Let's do that one. Okay, and then let's just do a box selection and grow my selection, and then go down to my smoothing groups, and let's just choose a smoothing group. Make sure that's nicely smoothed off. Okay. Alright, so probably a good time for me to save. So I'll just put it on my desktop and call it Thermographic Printing. Okay, so from here I need to create this sort of background, which is just going to be a matte black plane basically. So I'm going to go to top view and create a plane, and I'll just make it quite big so that the camera is not going to catch the edges. Okay, and then I'll switch to my side view and just make sure that it intersects with this object a little bit. So I'm going to lift it up so that there's no gaps between the thermographic printing and the base. Okay, so now I've got it set up, and now I need to do my materials. So I'll just Control S, save that, and I'll go to the material editor, and let me just get rid of these so that I can show you the process from scratch. So I need to, first of all, you need to make sure you're in your Mental Ray renderer. So under render setup, make sure that you're on NVIDIA Mental Ray. And then I really just kept this extremely simple. I went to Arc and Design, and I chose a preset or a template for a pearl finish, and I set the color to black. Okay, and that I assigned to the business card background. And then for the logo, I repeated that, another Arc and Design, and this one I chose glossy finish and black. Okay, and then I selected the items that need that applied to them and assign them. And that's it. So now you can see that I have that kind of thermographic glossy look. So here I have my final scene set up. I just wanted to show you what I had set up. So let me just switch to perspective view here, and you'll see that what I have is a plane that I've set up with a material of just an Arc & Design white material with a self-illumination on it, just so that it's giving off a bit of white kind of light, almost like a window or something like that. And then on the other side I have an MR Omni area light. I have a camera set up, and if I switch to my camera view, you'll see that whoops, let me just undo that. If I play it, you'll see that I've got a little animation of the camera rotating around the object, and that's basically it. So I've rendered out this little sequence. So let's have a look at what it looks like. So I did it as just an image sequence, so you can see that these are the individual images playing through, just to give you an idea of the different angles and the different lighting. Let me go back the other way, and I'll stop there so you can see the nice reflections on this. So this you could use as a little animation, or you could render out a much higher resolution one for print. There's no photoshopping done yet. In a final render, I would probably go into Photoshop and just adjust the exposure a little bit and clean it up a little bit. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see you next time.